Welcome to the Online Digital Marketing Podcast. We'll be discussing marketing strategies, trends, and tips that will help your business succeed in the digital age. Every episode, we'll be interviewing industry professionals and providing valuable insights on how to leverage digital tools for maximum engagement and ROI. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on the latest trends in online marketing.
All right, welcome to another deep dive. You know how this works. We get our hands dirty with some interesting research so you don't have to.
That's right. And today we're diving into social media marketing.
Yep. We're going through this ebook called Social Media Marketing Success. It's got a ton of great advice.
It really does.
No matter where you are on your, social media journey, I think there's something here for everybody.
Definitely.
We've even got some interesting statistics and real-world examples.
Oh, yeah. And I think one of the most important things this ebook highlights is that you got to build trust online.
Mm-hmm.
It's the foundation of everything, Like, it's not just about posting pretty pictures or trying to be flashy.
Right.
It's really about showing your audience that you're a reliable source.
Yeah. It's like building a reputation, right?
Yeah.
It takes time. It takes effort.
Exactly. And it's funny, the ebook actually compares building credibility online to building a reputation in the real world.
It's so true, though.
And it makes total sense, right?
Yeah.
Like, think about it. How many times have you gone online to research a brand before you bought something from them?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah. And I think the ebook even mentioned a study that found that like 87% of consumers actually research a brand online before they even consider buying anything.
Wow.
It's huge. Mm-hmm. So like every time you reply to a comment or share something helpful, it all adds up, It shapes how people see you.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
It's not just about how many followers you have or any of those vanity metrics. It's really about building that trust, that genuine connection.
Exactly.
Speaking of connection, the ebook also has a ton of tips on how to create content that people will actually want to read and engage with.
Oh, for sure. And one of the key takeaways for me was how important it is to know your audience.
Yeah.
You have to really understand them, what they're interested in.
Absolutely.
You got to speak their language.
Yeah.
It's like you're having a conversation with them.
Totally. And here's something that I thought was super interesting. It turns out that when it comes to Facebook and Twitter, shorter posts tend to perform much better.
You're kidding? Really?
Yeah. And it actually kind of makes sense when you think about it. We're all so busy, right? Everyone's attention span is like,
yeah.
I know, so short and sweet. This is the way to go.
So how short are we talking?
Well, according to the ebook, on Facebook, posts with less than 40 characters do best.
Wow. Okay.
And then on Twitter, you've got about 100 characters to grab someone's attention before they just keep scrolling.
So it's like a little mini headline.
Exactly. The ebook actually recommends that we think like headline writers.
Oh, interesting.
Just get right to the point. Make every word count. Like, what if you only had 5 words to convince someone to click on your link?
Oh, that's a good challenge. I like that.
Right? What would you say?
I'd have to think about that one.
Yeah.
But once you've got people's attention, hashtags are a great way to, amplify your message.
Right. Totally. The ebook has a whole section on hashtag strategies, and they really emphasize that you need to understand what your audience is already talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about randomly throwing hashtags out there.
No, not at all.
Hoping something sticks.
Right. You got to be strategic about it. It's about finding the right conversations and joining in, but in a way that makes sense, It's got to be authentic.
Yeah, it's about being part of the community.
Exactly.
And the ebook even suggests some tools like hashtagify.me or WriteTag.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those.
They can help you analyze which hashtags are actually performing well in your niche.
That's really useful. Take the guesswork out of it a little bit.
Yeah, and you can tailor your strategy based on what you find.
So it's not just about using the most popular hashtags.
Right. It's about using the right hashtags for your specific audience.
Makes sense.
The ebook also suggests coming up with one really strong hashtag.
Okay.
That can kind of be like a slogan for your whole campaign.
Like a tagline almost.
Yeah, exactly. It helps people recognize your brand and makes your content stand out.
It's all about creating that cohesive brand experience.
Exactly. And speaking of branding, we can't forget about engagement.
Oh, that's so important.
Which is something this ebook really drives home.
Yeah, it's not enough to just, put your message out there and hope for the best.
Right, you got to
You
participate.
got to respond to comments, be part of the conversation.
Make people feel heard.
Exactly. It all goes back to building relationships. And you know what? The ebook has some really interesting advice on how to do that.
Oh, like what?
Well, it talks about identifying the influencers in your niche,
Okay.
the people who are already driving conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And it encourages us to, engage with them, become part of their community.
So instead of trying to shout over everyone, it's about finding the right people to connect with.
Exactly. And by building those relationships, you can amplify your own message.
It's all about working smarter, not harder.
Right. And this ebook is full of these little golden nuggets,
Hmm?
Like, it even suggests some strategies that I hadn't really thought about before.
Really? Like what?
Well, have you heard of this app called Daily by Buffer?
Yes. Actually, we were just talking about that the other day.
It's a game changer.
I know, right? It's so helpful for finding great content to share.
Seriously. It's like having a personal assistant for your social media.
And it saves so much time,
Yeah.
We're all so busy, so anything that can help us streamline our social media efforts is a win in my book.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, I think we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have. Maybe we should take a quick pause, let everyone digest all this amazing information,
Good idea.
and then we'll come back and dive into even more social media secrets from this treasure trove of an ebook.
Sounds good to me. This ebook is packed with great information.
It really is.
And it doesn't just stop at those, basic tactics.
Right.
It goes even deeper and it dives into some valuable insights about YouTube.
Oh,
Specifically, like how to optimize your videos to get better visibility.
Okay, that's something I think a lot of people overlook,
Yeah, it's like SEO, but for your videos.
Right, right.
And, the ebook recommends carefully choosing those keywords that really align with the content of your videos.
So it's all about making sure your videos show up when people are searching for related topics.
Exactly. It's about understanding what people are actually typing into that search bar and making sure that your video titles, your descriptions, and your tags
Yeah.
all reflect those search terms.
Yeah, so instead of just throwing any old title on there,
Right.
we need to really think strategically about the words people are using.
Absolutely. It's such a simple tweak,
Yeah,
but it can make such a big difference in how easily people can find your content.
absolutely. Okay, so we've got our keywords, our titles, our descriptions all sorted out. What else does the ebook recommend for, making our videos stand out?
Well, it actually talks about something that I found quite interesting. Remember Vine?
Oh, yeah, those short looping videos?
Yeah.
I used to be obsessed with those.
They were so fun.
But I think they shut down a while ago, right?
Yeah, they did, unfortunately.
That.
But, the principle behind them is still so relevant today. Like, those 6-second videos were amazing at grabbing people's attention. Even though Vine's gone, I think the lesson remains that short, engaging videos can still be super powerful, especially on platforms like Twitter.
So it's about adapting that concept to whatever the latest trend might be.
Exactly. Find what works and, roll with it. And speaking of adapting, I have a confession.
Okay.
I am terrible at remembering to post consistently.
Oh, tell me about it. It's like a full-time job in itself.
It is. It's one of the biggest challenges, I think, for anyone managing social media.
For sure.
But the ebook actually addresses this.
Oh, good.
And it suggests a tool that I think you'll really appreciate. It's called Daily by Buffer.
Oh, yeah. That content curation app, right? Yeah.
Exactly. It's like having a personal content curator who's out there, scouring the internet for you, pulling together all those interesting articles and stories that your audience would probably love. And then you can easily share that content with your followers and position yourself as like a go-to resource in your industry.
It takes so much pressure off having to constantly create original content.
It really does.
Yeah.
And it frees up your time so you can focus on engaging with your audience.
Right, exactly. Okay, so Daily by Buffer, definitely going to check that out. What else? What other nuggets of wisdom does this ebook have for us?
Well, it also talks about the power of polls and wish lists.
Oh, okay. I haven't used those in ages. Why are they so valuable?
Well, think about it. Polls and wish lists are such a great way to get direct feedback from your audience. It's about asking them what they want, what they're interested in, what problems they're facing. And then you can use that feedback to make sure that you're creating products and services and even content, that really meets their needs.
It's so much better than just guessing, right?
For sure. It's like going straight to the source.
Exactly. You're getting those real insights from the people who matter most.
Mm-hmm.
And by involving them in this way,
Mm-hmm.
you're creating a more engaged and satisfied community.
Totally. They feel like they're being heard.
Yeah.
And you're gaining valuable insights that can help you, improve your strategy.
It's a win-win.
It is. Okay. But I think one of the biggest things that this ebook really emphasizes is the importance of moving beyond those vanity metrics.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how do we actually measure the success of our social media efforts?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
It is. And the ebook really digs into this by highlighting the difference between those social metrics,
Okay.
like engagement and impressions,
Mm-hmm.
and then brand metrics.
Like brand awareness.
Exactly. And sentiment, like how people feel about your brand.
So it's not just about how many likes you get
Right.
or retweets.
It's about the bigger picture.
It's about how those interactions are actually impacting people's perception of your brand.
Exactly. And this is where having a clear strategy from the get-go becomes so crucial. Like, you need to define your goals before you even start posting. And you need to track your progress along the way. Like, you shouldn't just be throwing stuff out there randomly.
Right.
Every piece of content should have a purpose.
So it's about being intentional with everything we post, like having a roadmap for success.
Precisely. And this ties back to the importance of consistency.
Yeah.
Remember we talked about that earlier?
Mhm.
Like, social media is a long game.
Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. Building a strong brand presence takes time and it takes effort. You got to be in it for the long haul.
This ebook does such a great job of weaving all these different concepts together.
It really does.
You can tell the author has a deep understanding of how to build a thriving online presence.
For sure. And honestly, it's been so insightful for me. I hope our listeners are getting a lot out of it too.
Me too. Okay, well, I think we've covered a ton of ground again.
Yeah.
Maybe we should take another quick breather, let everyone absorb all this knowledge,
Sound good.
and then we'll come back and wrap up with some final thoughts and key takeaways from this amazing ebook.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, we're back for the final part of our deep dive into social media marketing success.
This ebook has been a gold mine of information.
It really has. So much good stuff. Before we wrap up, let's, kind of summarize everything. What are, like, the biggest takeaways? What do you think people should really focus on?
Well, I think for me, it all boils down to, like, building those genuine connections, right? Like, it's not just about broadcasting your message out there. It's about engaging with your audience, responding to comments, participating in those discussions.
That makes people feel heard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street. Social media is all about relationships.
It is, and it takes time, right? Like, building a loyal following doesn't happen overnight.
No, for sure. The ebook really emphasizes that. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You got to be patient.
You do. It's about, showing up consistently, delivering value, and nurturing those relationships over time.
Exactly. And I think that's where having a solid plan comes in.
Mm-hmm.
The ebook really encourages us to think strategically about our goals, our target audience, which platforms we're using.
It's like having a roadmap, right?
Exactly. It helps you stay focused and avoid getting, sidetracked by all the shiny new trends that are constantly popping up.
Right. And one thing that really resonated with me was this whole idea of thinking beyond those vanity metrics, Likes and followers are great, but they don't tell the whole story.
Yeah, exactly. We need to be looking at how our social media efforts are impacting our overall brand, right?
Yeah.
Are we building awareness? Are we driving traffic to our website? Are we generating leads?
Those are the questions we should be asking. And the ebook reminds us that social media is always changing.
Oh, yeah.
What works today might not work tomorrow.
So we got to stay curious, keep learning, and be willing to adapt.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to experiment and try new things. See what works best for you.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Yeah.
This deep dive has been so eye-opening.
It really has.
I feel like I've learned so much.
I'm walking away with a whole toolkit of new strategies.
Same here.
Yeah.
And I really hope our listeners are feeling the same way.
Me too. So, if you're looking for practical advice on how to make social media work for you, this ebook, Social Media Marketing Success, is definitely worth checking out.
I highly recommend it.
It's full of actionable tips that can help you grow your audience, build your brand, and really achieve those social media goals.
And remember, the best way to learn is by doing.
So true.
So get out there, experiment, have fun, and most importantly, connect with your audience.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, that's it for this episode of The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Ready to take your online business to the next level? Subscribe to our digital marketing podcast and then join our Accountability for Success Mastermind. With expert advice from industry leaders, you'll gain knowledge and insights that will help you succeed in today's digital marketing world. From social media strategies to search engine optimization, we have all the tools you need. Learn from successful entrepreneurs and take control of your online success. Join the Accountability for Success Mastermind now at bit.ly/AFSM podcast.